Worrying is something everyone experiences. It's part of being human, but it's also one of the most counterproductive emotions we can feel. We've all been there, lying awake at night, thinking about all the what-ifs and maybes, wondering how we're going to solve a problem or overcome a challenge. But here's the harsh truth. Worrying doesn't change anything. It doesn't solve a problem. It doesn't make tomorrow any easier or help you find the answers you need. It just paralyzes you. When we worry, we spend our time thinking about all the things that could go wrong, imagining worst-case scenarios. And when we do this, we waste precious energy and time that could be spent making progress, solving problems, or taking action. When you focus on what could go wrong, you create a mindset of limitation. You start believing that things are out of your control, that there's nothing you can do to improve the situation. That's when worry starts to feel like a weight, holding you down, preventing you from taking any meaningful action. Action is the great disruptor. It shatters the illusion that worrying does anything for you. It brings you back to reality, back to what you can control, and back to the power of the present moment. When you take action, you break free from the grip of fear and uncertainty. You stop being a passive participant in your own life and become an active creator of your future. It's in those moments when you choose to take a step forward despite your worries and doubts that real progress happens. One of the reasons action is so powerful is because it immediately shifts your focus. Worry thrives when we focus on what we can't control, on the unknown, and on the potential negative outcomes. But when you take action, your focus shifts to what you can control. You stop imagining all the things that could go wrong and stop focusing on the next logical step. And that, my friends, is where momentum begins to build. When you take one small action, even if it's not perfect, it creates a ripple effect. It leads to another step, then another, and before long you're moving forward, even if it's just a little bit at a time. The best part about taking action is that it doesn't require perfection. In fact, waiting for everything to be perfect before you take action is one of the greatest ways to get stuck in worry. You don't need to have all the answers or all the details worked out. All you need is the courage to take one small step. When you're not sure of the next move, don't let that stop you. Do something, anything, that moves you in the direction you want to go. This is the magic of action. It creates clarity. As you take steps, things begin to make sense. The path becomes clearer. Opportunities start to appear. And you begin to see that the worries you were consumed by were really just distractions. Taking action also builds confidence. Every time you take a step, you prove to yourself that you can handle what comes next. You gain experience, you learn, you adapt. And with each piece of action, your self-belief strengthens. It's easy to worry when you feel unprepared or uncertain, but action helps you build the muscle of confidence. The more you act, the more capable you feel. The more you act, the more you realize that you are in control, that you can navigate challenges and make progress regardless of how overwhelming things may seem. Another thing action does is it helps you build momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life. When you start moving, it becomes easier to keep moving. One action leads to another. Small successes snowball into larger ones. This momentum gives you the drive to keep going, even when things get tough. When you're in a state of worry, you're often stuck in place, unable to move forward because you're paralyzed by indecision and fear. But when you take action, no matter how small, you begin to break free from that inertia. Many of us spend so much time worrying because we don't believe we have control over our situation. We wait for the right moment, the right information, or the right circumstances to take action. But the truth is, the right time to act is always now. If you're waiting for the stars to align or for the perfect conditions, you could be waiting forever. The perfect moment rarely comes. Instead, what you can control is what you do right now. Taking action in the face of uncertainty is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who remain stuck in worry. It's important to realize that action doesn't always mean making a huge leap. It doesn't have to be a dramatic move. It can be as simple as sending that email, making that phone call, or doing the first task on your to-do list. The key is that you're moving. You're no longer standing still, frozen by worry. You're taking ownership of your situation, and in doing so, you're becoming part of the solution. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Action brings results. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle of planning, thinking, and worrying, but real progress only comes through doing. Every time you take action, you move closer to success. So don't let worry keep you from taking that first step. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Just start and trust that action will lead you to where you need to be. Success doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment or hoping that things will fall into place on their own. It comes from consistent action, from making progress even when the road ahead seems unclear or the obstacles seem insurmountable. Many people mistakenly believe that success is something that happens to them, that it's a matter of luck or timing, but that's far from the truth. Success is the result of relentless effort, of moving forward despite challenges, of doing something every day that brings you closer to your goals. It's about taking the first step, then the next, and continuing to move forward even when things don't seem perfect. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that success is a giant leap forward, one grand action that will solve everything. But in reality, success is built on a series of small steps taken day after day. Each action you take, no matter how small it seems, contributes to your overall progress. The key is consistency. If you wait for everything to be perfect or for the right time to act, you will find yourself waiting forever. The right time to act is always now. Every successful person you admire got to where they are by taking action, even when they didn't feel ready, even when they weren't sure of the outcome. They didn't wait for the stars to align. They made things happen through small, consistent steps. The reason why people often wait for the perfect moment is that they believe it's better to hold off until everything is just right, but this kind of thinking leads to inaction, to stagnation. The truth is, waiting for everything to be perfect is a form of procrastination. It's a way of avoiding the discomfort that comes with taking risks, making mistakes, and learning from failure. But those who achieve great success understand that perfection is an illusion. There is no perfect moment, no ideal set of circumstances. The real secret to success is taking action now, in the face of uncertainty, knowing that you can adjust and adapt along the way. Taking action, even when you don't have everything figured out, creates momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces that drive success. Once you start moving, you gain energy, focus, and determination. The more you act, the easier it becomes to keep going. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill. At first it's tough, but as you gain momentum, it becomes easier to push. Similarly, as you take action, you build confidence. Learn from your mistakes and refine your approach. Each step forward brings clarity. Each action you take brings you closer to your goal. The key to success is to break your goals into smaller, manageable actions. If you look at your goal as a whole, it can feel overwhelming, and that's when people tend to procrastinate. But when you break it down into smaller steps, it becomes more achievable. These small steps allow you to build momentum, gain confidence, and keep moving forward no matter how big the task ahead may seem. If you wait for the perfect opportunity or the perfect plan, you'll find yourself paralyzed by fear and indecision. But by taking small steps, you can start to move toward your goal today without waiting for the perfect moment to appear. Another powerful reason why waiting for everything to be perfect doesn't work is that perfection is subjective. What you consider perfect may not be what others think, and even if you do reach that ideal state, it may not lead to the results you expect. Success is not about achieving perfection. It's about progress. It's about getting better each day, learning from your experiences and adapting to new challenges. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never get started. But when you embrace progress over perfection, you allow yourself to grow, improve, and evolve. It's also important to understand that success is a journey, not a destination. There is no end point where you can say, "I've made it." Success is a continuous process of growth, learning, and improvement. By taking action today, you not only make progress toward your goals, but you also set yourself up for future success. Each action you take builds upon the previous one, creating a foundation for future achievement. The more you do, the more you learn, and the more capable you become. Success is not a single event. It's the sum of all the small actions you take every day. Many people think that success is about avoiding failure, but in reality, failure is an essential part of the journey. Each failure is an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. When you take action, even if things don't go perfectly, you gain valuable experience that helps you refine your approach. Every successful person has faced setbacks and failures, but what sets them apart is that they didn't let those failures stop them. They took what they learned from each experience and used it to keep moving forward. By taking action, you embrace the possibility of failure as a necessary part of success. So stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Take the first step now. Don't wait for the right moment or the perfect conditions, because they may never come. Success is the result of consistent, purposeful action, not waiting for the perfect circumstances. Start today, take small steps, and trust that each action you take will bring you closer to your goal. The journey to success isn't about waiting, it's about moving forward, one step at a time. Success is not simply about avoiding problems or overcoming obstacles. It's about consistently making progress despite them. When you focus on progress rather than getting bogged down by problems, you create a mindset that propels you forward. Life is filled with challenges, uncertainties, and setbacks, but the key to achieving success lies in how you respond to these challenges. If you allow problems to consume your focus, you will find yourself stuck, overwhelmed, and paralyzed by fear. However, if you focus on progress, no matter how small, you continue to move forward, learning and adapting as you go. Focusing on progress means shifting your mindset from one of negativity to one of opportunity. Problems will always arise, that's a given, but how you approach them makes all the difference. If you focus on problems, you reinforce feelings of helplessness and defeat. You begin to see obstacles as roadblocks, things that are too big to overcome. However, when you focus on progress, you turn every obstacle into a challenge to be solved. You see problems as temporary setbacks, opportunities for growth, and moments that will make you stronger. Instead of feeling defeated by a setback, you look for the lessons in it, the way forward, and how to move closer to your goal. When you focus on progress, you also begin to celebrate the small wins. Too often, people get caught up in the desire for big, dramatic success, the kind that is visible and instantly gratifying. They focus on the destination, on the end goal, rather than on the steps that lead there. But success is built step by step, brick by brick. Every small action you take, every little bit of progress you make, is a step toward your goal. And by acknowledging these small victories, you build confidence, reinforce your motivation, and create a sense of momentum. This momentum is key to keeping you going, even when the journey gets tough. One of the biggest mistakes people make is getting caught in the cycle of perfectionism. They wait for the right moment, the right conditions, or the right circumstances to act, believing that progress can only be made when everything is perfect. But the truth is, perfection doesn't exist. Waiting for everything to align perfectly is just a way of avoiding action, and it can lead to stagnation. You don't have to have everything figured out to start making progress. You don't need to know exactly how everything will unfold. All you need is the willingness to take the next step, even if it's not perfect, and then keep moving forward. Every imperfect action you take still contributes to your overall progress. Progress is about moving in the right direction, not about making everything perfect. Every effort, every step, every attempt is part of the process. If you're consistently moving toward your goal, even if it's in small increments, you are making progress. And the beauty of focusing on progress is that over time, those small steps compound into something much greater. What might feel like small, insignificant actions today can build up into monumental success over time. The key is to keep taking those steps, to keep moving forward, and to focus on what you can do today rather than worrying about what's out of your control. It's important to realize that setbacks and failures are part of the progress process. They are inevitable, and more importantly, they are valuable. Every time you face a setback, you have an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to improve. Focusing on progress means understanding that failure isn't a reason to stop, it's a reason to keep going. It's not about avoiding mistakes, but about embracing them as part of the journey. When you focus on progress, you see failures as temporary detours, not permanent roadblocks. You adjust your approach, you refine your strategy, and you continue to move forward better equipped than before. Progress also means measuring your success by the improvements you make rather than by comparing yourself to others. In a world that often promotes instant success and external validation, it's easy to get caught up in comparing your journey to someone else's. But true success is personal. It's about making progress on your terms, at your pace. You should focus on your own growth, on how far you've come, and on the lessons you've learned. When you compare yourself to others, you're likely to overlook the incredible strides you've made and the unique path you're walking. Progress is about staying focused on your own journey, celebrating your growth, and continuously striving to improve. When you prioritize progress over problems, you also learn to manage your energy and mindset more effectively. Worrying about problems can drain your mental and emotional energy, leaving you feeling stuck and overwhelmed. But when you focus on progress, you shift your energy toward finding solutions, taking action, and moving forward. This shift not only keeps you motivated, but also boosts your resilience. Instead of letting problems drain you, focusing on progress fuels your drive to overcome challenges and keep going. This mindset allows you to embrace each challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to move closer to your goal. Ultimately, focusing on progress is about cultivating a mindset that is solution-oriented, adaptable, and persistent. It's about accepting that problems and challenges are part of the process, but they don't define your journey. What defines your journey is how you choose to respond to those challenges. When you focus on progress, you take control of your path. You keep moving forward no matter what obstacles arise, and you embrace every step of the process, knowing that it's all part of your journey to success. In conclusion, the key to overcoming worry and achieving success lies in taking consistent action and focusing on progress rather than dwelling on problems. Worrying may seem like a way to anticipate challenges, but it only serves to paralyze you. By embracing action, even when things aren't perfect, you shift from a passive state of fear to an active pursuit of your goals. Success doesn't come from waiting for the ideal conditions, but from making small, deliberate steps toward improvement each day. Focusing on progress means understanding that setbacks are part of the journey, and with each challenge, you gain valuable lessons. So, stop waiting, stop worrying, and start moving forward. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals, and over time, those steps compound into significant achievements. The road to success is built on progress, and progress is made through action. Keep moving forward, and success will follow.